Hi, welcome to Polyphonic Press. I'm Jeremy Boyd.
I'm John Van Dyke.
And today we're going to be talking about how the music industry needs to be more transparent. Here we go. Alright, so David Byrne from Talking Heads wrote an op-ed and basically said that the problem with the way the music industry is going is there isn't a lot of transparency between like the music labels and the artists and the streaming services and artists.
No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, which has been a huge problem. We've talked a bit about it before, but it seems to be getting worse. And if you remember a month or so ago, Taylor Swift pulled all her music from, or refused to have her music on Apple Music because they weren't going to pay royalties in the trial period. And so there was a big deal about that. Apple buckled and they're going to pay royalties. But they had to, you know, it took them some persuading on their part to get it done, which shouldn't have happened. It should have been just automatic. And it seems like
we're dealing with human beings here. It's never automatic.
That's true. I'd like to think that there wasn't anything malicious going on, that they weren't actually trying to screw over the artists. But that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
And that's what they continue to do. It's a big problem. I don't understand why these streaming services feel that they can get away with not paying proper royalties.
Some people feel like they can get away with anything so long as there isn't actually a law in place to tell them that they can't do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but you would think that they would have some common sense about it, though. You know,
their common sense is a little more inwardly directed.
Okay, all right.
So
I don't know if you've seen the article or the thing is Pandora is a pretty bad one. They're notorious for not paying proper royalties, and what was just released this week was the CEO's house. He's putting up like a multi-million-dollar mansion. He's building it.
Was it TP'd or something?
Oh no! He's just, that's like, this is the CEO of Pandora who doesn't pay artists. He's putting all this money into his house.
Okay.
So he's making all this money.
Yeah,
and he's
apparently.
Not, you know, so it's not like if he were to pay artists their proper royalties, like he would still be doing fine for himself. He would still be pretty successful. He wouldn't be homeless. He would still be, you know, making a lot of money. But he wouldn't be making as much money. But that's not the right thing to do.
Yeah, well,
you know?
Yeah, I know.
But like we keep saying, this is the Wild West, and there are so many streaming services. We don't know. It's kind of like Blu-ray versus HD DVD, or VHS versus Betamax. We don't know what one streaming service is going to survive. Likely it's going to be Apple Music, but it may never be.
It may never be reduced to one.
Well, it's got to be. It's got to be the one that comes standard.
Well, there may be one that may reduce to become standard, but the way things are going, there may be something else come along and maybe just wipes it all out before that all's...
Yeah, there could be. There could be some startup that does it really well, and they make the artists happy, and... you know, I wish I knew more about computers and I had more money to do it. I would start my own streaming service and make it, you know, fair.
Yeah, it would be worthwhile doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not a computer guy myself.
I'm
very analog.
Yeah. So part of the problem, I think, and what the article said, is he tried to get some answers from these like he tried to get answers from YouTube and where the money breaks down and what splits and different streaming services, and he couldn't get a straight answer from anyone. It seemed like a simple enough question, like what are the basic numbers that are being thrown?
The numbers are a little wonky.
Yeah, exactly. Might be cooking the books or something.
Yeah.
So he asks a simple question and he can't get an answer from anybody because there's so many legal hoops that they have to jump through that they can't answer a question without possibly be getting into legal trouble, which is which is the problem. Is it's not transparent. As an artist, I would like to know, like, even in the days of CDs and vinyl, you know, I would like to know, when a person pays $10 or whatever it is for a CD, I would like to know what percentage of that money goes to me as an artist. You know, I might be happy with the percentage, I might be upset with it, but I would like to know
what it is.
What it is.
Yeah.
And I think as an artist, you have the right to know what percentage of the money that you're getting.
Yeah.
You were saying something earlier that was interesting, that I
was listening to the CBC a few weeks ago, and there was a program on. They were talking about basically how the record industry got to be where it is today, and well, it was first of all, yeah, the record industry started out. It was Wild West when it started out first, because the first time anybody was making any money on music at all was paper.
Yeah.
Like
sheet music.
Sheet music.
Yeah.
And they would sell that. And once you would sell that piece of sheet music, whoever bought the sheet music could do whatever they wanted with the music on that. Mm-hmm. And especially when recording started, like shortly thereafter, they were recording the stuff. And there was no law in place to tell them that they couldn't do that.
Right.
And they could sell the recordings.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, obviously, then laws came into that. But it's the other one that I noticed in the article. And David Byrne had actually mentioned it, but he didn't mention the part that I'm about to mention right here, is that the breakage fee. Right. Which has increasingly over the years become more and more
So for anyone who doesn't know, it's basically an insurance policy for any damage that are caused during production of records or CDs, or basically physical damage that you can measure in dollars and cents.
But the thing is, the breakage fee itself and the rate that they charge on the breakage fee was introduced back when the records were, they were the 78s. They were
brittle.
Very brittle. They were, what's the plastic? Really early plastic, anyway. It was like celluloid, probably, some sort of... anyway, those would break all the time in shipping. Yeah. And then they introduced the polyvinyl chloride, which they use for, the LPs and 45s and whatever.
Which you can pretty much use as frisbees.
You can use them as frisbees. They scratch up and whatnot, but it's
hard to break them.
It is pretty hard to break.
Yeah.
I've seen them break, but
it's
a lot harder.
You have to try really hard to do.
You do. And then, of course, you got cassettes, and you got the 8-tracks, and then you got CDs came along, and with each step, it was almost impossible to break these things.
Yeah. And so now
we have MP3s,
which is, like I said, unless the servers go down where they're being held.
But even then, even if the servers go down, there is no cost involved in reproducing those files.
No, or very little cost anyway. Yeah. You're replacing hard drives, which, is compared to the old days, it happens less than being broken and shipping. So so they're squeezing money out of whatever they can, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we could go on about this, but let us know in the comments what you guys think. Do you think the record industry needs to be more transparent? Do you think it's fine? Let us know in the comments. Be sure to subscribe so you know when we post new videos. You can check us out on Twitter and Facebook. Follow John on Twitter @FunkyDutch. And that's about it. I'm Jeremy Boyd.
I'm John Van Dyke.
Take it easy.